Okay, so I have in front of me my favorite trio for this whole live looping beat making kind of workflow, which I love. And in this trio, each device serves a really very specific function, right? HX Stomp is my amp modeling and my multi-effects for my guitar or my synthesizer, whatever I plug into it. The black box serves as a multi-track live looper. This is a full-on sampler in its own right, but the live looping on this thing is great. And that's what I use it for. And then Digitakt is my drum sequencer and my end of chain audio processor because I love the compressor and the overdrive, and the routing is pretty flexible as well. So they all work together in harmony. They have a specific job, and it's my favorite setup right now for this type of workflow. But I did a video a few weeks ago on MPC 3.0, and particularly the arranger window, which can now do this multi-track live looping kind of workflow. So I wanted to see, can the MPC Live II kind of recreate this workflow that I love so much? I'm not going to use the word replace because I'm not looking to get rid of any of these things, but I'm just curious if I could have the same kind of workflow where I have, built-in amp modeling effects, a multi-track looping workflow, and then obviously the same kind of sequencing that I do on Digitakt. So yeah, let's see. I'm gonna move this stuff off the desk. I'm gonna grab the MPC Live II, and we'll see how far we get. I think this should be fun. Let's do it. All right, so I've got the MPC Live II in front of me. I've got a brand new project with nothing on it, and I think I actually want to start with guitar. This is the thing that I'm most curious about if I'm asking MPC to kind of take the place of my HX Stomp, which is a dedicated amp sim, amp modeler, multi-effect. That's kind of a tall order. So I'm curious to see how this does. Obviously, you can't hold the two to the same standards when it comes to amp modeling, but this does have amps built in, and I haven't used them in a while, so I kind of want to get back into them and see what kind of tone we can get out of them. So let's just start with our arrange window. We'll make this kind of our home base for now, and I'm going to add an audio track. Make sure that I am input monitoring. Cool. And then we can go over here to our channel strip and add an amp sim. Okay, so I've got my guitar plugged into MPC Live, and I need to mention here, I'm not plugged directly into MPC Live. I'm actually running through a direct box, which is under my desk. And the reason for that is the guitar has a high impedance output, and MPC Live has a low impedance input. Without making this a whole deep dive into impedance matching, you generally want to plug guitar into a high impedance input, not low impedance like the MPC Live. Nothing bad will happen if you do that. It will work just fine, but you're going to lose a lot of high end off of your incoming guitar tone. It's going to be a little noisier. It's going to be a little dull and lifeless. So going through a DI is just a much better way to do that because it takes your high impedance output of your guitar and turns it into a low impedance output that MPC Live is going to have an easier time with. So I've got my guitar plugged in, DI, MPC Live II. If I turn up the volume, it's really, really quiet. So let's just crank this output and see what we get. Okay, there it is. It's a sound. It actually sounds a lot like my incoming signal. It doesn't seem to be doing too much. So let's try smooth combo. There we go. That's a little more amp-like. I'm going to crank the output again. All right, that's not bad, but it's doing something in the high end that I don't love. Try a warm combo, see if that smooths it out a little bit. That's pretty nice, actually. That sounds pretty good. I'm going to turn the drive up a little bit. I should mention here that I remember using the high gain amps on here, and I did not love that experience. but I mostly play clean amps anyways, so this actually works pretty well for me. All right, let's throw some effects on here. So I'm gonna go into my next insert here and let's put a chorus, air chorus. That sounds awesome. It's kind of cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Turn the mix down a little and yeah, that's really cool. It's very affected, but that's kind of what I want to go for on this track. Next up, we're gonna do some reverb. Try air reverb. I generally like a plate, but they don't have plates in here, so let's go for hall. We'll go concert hall. And we'll turn that mix down to like 25%. That's really not bad. I can take the mix down a little more since there's so much chorus. It sounds pretty good. And then let's put a high pass filter on it just for the sake of keeping our mix clean. We'll turn the frequency down to like 60 to 90 hertz. All right, and here's our guitar sound. That's kind of nice. I really think that's pretty solid. Especially if you need just like a basic clean tone. This whole warm combo with the output turned up and the drive a little bit, it provides a really nice platform for just kind of like stacking effects on it and making something cool. So, all right, so let's go to our arrange window. Normally at this point in the process, after I find a tone I will loop record. I'll set a tempo and I'll record in a loop and just start stacking parts on top of each other. That's what the black box is for. I made a video about this a couple weeks ago where I do that same live looping workflow in this arrange window. So that's just what we're going to do now. We're going to change our BPM. I think for this one, I want to go 80. I do have some chords in mind. And then I'm just going to record, and it should loop as long as I have this auto record at loop start enabled. Yeah, and we should be good. 4 bars instead of 2 bars. So we're just gonna zoom out, make it 4 bars. Let's try that. There it is. Guitar part. Simple. Okay, let's move on to our drums now. So this would be where the Digitakt comes in. I would program a sample-based drum groove. I think we all probably understand that this can do that. But I would do it a lot differently in Digitakt. I use the sequencer as everyone does with Electron boxes, but for this, I'm just gonna finger drum it. So let's go to our main page and let's go to our drum track, and I'm gonna add a drum program that I made that I really like and I think would work for this, called Chill Drums. Cool. All right, so once again, I'm just gonna loop record from the start. I'm gonna finger drum in a pattern and it's gonna loop. Let's do it. Cool, there's our drums. Super easy. All right, let me put my guitar down for a second and let's see if we can add some synths on here. So normally if I'm gonna add synths on something, I would either use a synth or I would plug a MIDI controller into Digitakt and use the single cycle waveforms to play like a bass part or a lead part, or I would plug a MIDI controller into Blackbox and trigger a multi-sample. MPC Live simplifies that a little bit because it has synths built in as plugin tracks, and we can just connect a MIDI controller and control those synths. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to add a new plugin track, and this is Jura that's loaded on here, which is obviously a Juno, but I want to do a bass. So I'm going to load up Mini D, and this is what it looks like. I'm going to pull out my MIDI controller down here. Actually, this is not a MIDI controller. This is a Hydrasynth Explorer, but it's not transmitting any audio. It's just MIDI right now going into MPC Live. Okay, so let's go in here and find a bass sound. It's actually pretty nice right off the top. Let's keep going though. It's a little over the top, but I kind of like it. Not quite. That might work. What if we turn that sub oscillator down a little bit? Yeah, that's cool. Let's go back to our range window and try and record a part. I think I just played no, I played G minor 13 to A minor 7, and then I dropped down to the diminish. That's all I did. All right, here we go. All right, I messed that up a little bit. Just press undo, try it again. Cool, there's some bass. This is probably my favorite workflow enhancement that the MPC Live brings to the table over my other setup, is that it's got synths in it. So I can just record my parts as MIDI and use virtual synthesizers. That's pretty cool for a Groovebox. So cool, in fact, that I'm going to do it again. So let's do another plugin. We'll use Jura this time, and I'll try and come up with like a polysynth thing to put up top. All right, I found this sound called Analog Orchestra, and I can just try and play some arpeggios here. Let's see. Here we go. That's cool. I like that. I'm just going to record it. Let's go to Arrange, Record, Play Start. Nice. This is kind of coming together. I'm gonna do a little light mixing here, and I put the Air soft clipper on the master output just to give it a little saturation and compression at the end. This is what it sounds like. And just for good measure, let's put another guitar track on here. Why not, right? So I think we can just tap and hold and then copy track. And then we have another guitar track. But on this one, instead of chorus, we're going to do something else. This will be like a lead part. So let's try, I wonder if they have an envelope filter here. Where would that be? I guess it's not under filter. Auto wah. Nice. Same thing. Cool. That already sounds awesome. Try some presets here. Wow. I really like that. Okay, let's play around with it a little bit. Nope. All right, let's record that. I think I got it. Here we go. Am I encountering a bug here? I just recorded it and it is playing back, but it's not showing. It's not showing the audio clip. This is a beta version, everybody. This is a beta version of MPC 3.0. Bugs are to be expected, so, you know, nobody freak out. But I think I might have just... Oh, there it is. It appeared. Cool. Resolved. And then normally what I would do is I would use song mode on Digitakt to spread this out across like 16 bars and make more of an arrangement, which you can do really easily in the arrange window. I think I just do double length and then it is twice as long, right? Do it again, double length, and then it's twice as long again. And then from here you can take out certain parts, like I can start with just drums and guitar and build up to a fuller song. Don't have quite enough time to do that in this video, but maybe I'll tackle that in another video. So here's what we got after all is said and done. So can this thing replace my Digitakt black box HX Stomp? On paper, it kind of does everything that I need. It does amp modeling pretty surprisingly well, especially for clean amps. It does drum sequencing, obviously, and it does a live looping type of workflow with this arranger window. Will it replace those three? No. I love those boxes, and I still kind of prefer that workflow to this. It's a little more menu heavy, and there's a touch screen, which is not my all-time favorite. But yeah, it's kind of a fun experiment. If I had to go somewhere and bring just one thing with me to make like a whole song or something, this could totally do it. I think MPC 3.0 is going to be really fun for my workflow in particular. Let me know what you think in the comments if it'll work for you. As always, thank you for hanging. Go make some music. I'll see you next week.